Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Just starting a little earlier today, sort of getting closer to 10. Yeah, it's a bit early here. So what do we got? We got Bitcoin at 80k, still rising at the moment during this live stream as well, which we've just started. We got going to be talking about the Bitcoin treasuries looking really amazing, the ETFs looking amazing. I think it's pretty exciting, guys, where we are right now. Everything looking pretty bullish. And we just need that last sign of approval. We're up at this resistance. Just need that final seal of approval, I think, for get multiple week green gains. That's kind of where we are right now. So yeah, we're going to get into all that. Hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to cover the stock market briefly, as we always do, to make sure that we're keeping up with everything, right? So that we're not falling behind and not unaware of all the economics and the stock market impacts. But we will be getting into all the treasuries. We've got big updates around that today. It's going to be pretty awesome as well. I'm just going to bring up a few extra sites here to talk about some of this stuff as we move forward. So going to be cool. All right. So let me just start off with that. I think we're going to bring up. Let's get rid of that at the moment. We'll get rid of what are we going to? Let's see how we can. Now, we had a green night on the stock market overnight, which was pretty good. We're obviously going to get into stock market, Bitcoin, the digital asset treasuries, Strategy and Strive, and then we're going to jump into Ethereum and then Pulse Chain, of course, after that. So going to be a fun ride. And we're going to have a look at all the updates, but it's certainly looking very exciting where we are right now. We're going to get another market maker candle to the upside. Certainly looking interesting. Now, we do have the Fed chair speech later today. I think it's around about half a day away. So that's coming up. That's a very big deal, depending on what he does, right? What he does there. If he gives any signal that's particularly dovish, that's bullish for crypto. If he sits pretty similar to where we are, then probably not a lot happening with that, but mixed in the markets. And of course, if he's hawkish, then that's bad, right? That's the bad thing. But I doubt it. I think he's going to be very dovish because we've got the midterms coming up in November, and he's moving away. I think he's going to try and move away from the existing data that they've been traditionally using. So we'll see how that goes so far. We got Mount Gox in the house. A big shout out to all the Mount Goxes. Soon says Mount Gox. Absolutely. Don't forget to subscribe on the way in and smash the follow as well, and hit the repost show on the X there. That would be very, very cool. Cool. All right, so we did have a little bit of drama, I think, with Better Land, is it? Another hack, apparently. I mean, this never ends, does it? That's some unfortunate news for Pulse Chain today. We had the bridge upgrade yesterday. We had a little bit of drama about that, but looks like we moved through all that too. Just a couple of little things there. Pruvix, of course, was flying yesterday. We'll check in on that today and see where we go. We're from here, but certainly Bitcoin looking very strong, moving up right now while we're talking. So let's move on. Let's get into it and jump into the markets. Don't forget to get in the chat there and say hello as well, and hit the repost on X, as I said earlier. Let's go. Without further ado, chop, as I say. Wall Street futures steady after NVIDIA led gains, while at the moment the futures is down 0.1%, but we've got a long way to go to the market opens, about 12 hours. We've got the pre-market, of course, in about 6 hours or something. We've got Wash's Jackson Hole speech looms. That's the next big sort of news event, guys, coming up, so we'll check that out. But we did have a green night overnight with the NVIDIA news. Remember, NVIDIA was post-market the day before, after market the day before, and therefore impacted the results overnight for the stock market for Thursday. And it was a green day. So Dow Jones up by 1/5%, 105 points to 53,563. And if we look at the last sort of 6 months chart, we can see we've just come off the highs there. We got the S&P 500 up 0.7%, so that's really great. 55 points to 7,730, sitting right on Tom Lee's current target. He's obviously moved that up because we already hit 7,700 to 8,000. Nasdaq there up 1.6%, 411 points to 26,541, and we can see that's just off the highs as well back there. We're not far. What about 500 points below? That's up 1.6%. So a really strong day there on the Nasdaq, of course, reflecting the video on the tech stocks. 411 points, pretty good. Now the US dollar is actually appreciated a little bit there, 99. But it's down a little bit at the moment, but certainly appreciated from yesterday. We've been sitting around 98.5 or so. We're back at 99. Volatility index, look at that, guys. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. Let's look at the last year on volatility index there, 14.5. So full on risk on, guys. We're down 4.6% today. 14.5. Look at that, right at the bottom of the range. Isn't that awesome? Risk on, baby. That's what we like. Moving to commodities, West Texas, we're down 1/3%, still not below $80. This is one of the headwinds at the moment. This is still the oil prices. We're at $83, but at least it's not moving back up and come down a little bit there. So we were up, peaking up at around 87. We're down at 83. We want to get below $80. And then, of course, $70 is particularly bullish, right? So $80 is kind of good, heading in the right direction. $70 is getting bullish, and maybe, what's it, get down to $3 a gallon or something like that at the US tank, US there. Now, we use litres, of course, down under, but that's just the way it is. What is it, 2.2 litres per gallon? Something like that. We got Brent oil there at the moment, $88.38. So it's down just a fraction as well. So still work to do to get rid of that risk premium. So still a bit of a headwind for the crypto, and of course the inflation. We got gold at the moment down 0.5%, $24 to $4,640 over the last year. You can kind of see we had a rollover, bounced from about 4,000 and back up. So not pretty good moves there for gold. Silver likewise down 2/3%, almost 47 cents to $68.96. That's similarly like gold. And then copper, of course, we're bullish about copper. Because of the intelligence age and the data centers and everything else that's going to be used for copper. It's everywhere, and it's a very expensive process, as I've mentioned many times. 3 different industrial processes to get that out, and there's been a bit of supply issues recently too. I do think that this is probably going to break out moving forward there. I think that is the cool commodity there. So that's pretty much it at the moment. NVIDIA shares jumped 8.7% during Thursday's session, so it's pretty cool after the chipmaker delivered a bullish revenue outlook, helping drive a broader rally. So, I think it was, coming into 2026, they were looking at 68 billion, and now they report 96 billion. I mean, it's this huge. Next target for Q3 is going to be 108 billion. It's pretty awesome revenue for the period, right? So pretty cool. So we've got nice little gains there. What else we got here that's interesting? Still got obviously geopolitical tensions in Australia, the moves, and of course we've got D-Day economic operation coming into play, and definitely the Iranians didn't like that because they were jumping up and down about it all. So it's obviously Trump hitting the right spot there with the Secretary of War, Hegseth. Yeah. We got Hexvader in house. Hey gang, great to see you, Hexvader. Welcome to the chat. All right. So that's kind of the key stuff there. Let's look at next week's. We're going to do a bit of earlier. Might as well do it now, right? Have a little prelude to the economic calendar, see what else is coming up after the Fed chair this week. So we have Fed chair coming up 2 o'clock there Eastern. I think that is it Eastern? GMT plus 12. Okay. So we got initial jobs claims. They came in slightly lower, 203,000. So that's good. Good news for the employment market. And are lower than last month as well. So there we go. All right, so that is kind of that. Let's look at the so big one is the Fed speech here. That's the big one. I should be talking about that on Saturday, I guess. We'll see what day is today. Yeah, on Saturday I'll be talking about that tomorrow. We've got next week. We got the Chicago PMI, so more manufacturing kind of numbers, 57.8. Let's see if we beat that. And then we've got heaps of it. Look at it, S&P 500 Global Manufacturer PMI, the ISM. Now this is all industrial growth, right? This is what we want to see. Manufacturing growth, and of course this has been a great correlation to crypto. Certainly not as perfect last the little pump that we had to 126k last year, but certainly before that had been very, very aligned, and I suspect it's going to be very aligned for the 2027 pump to the moon, right? So it's kind of cool. All right, so that's kind of coming in. We got a bit of employment data, jobs report there. What else there? Non-farm employment change, more S&P PMIs, ISMs. Just more employment stuff. So quite a bit of employment stuff, guys, next week. Non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, etc. So all feeding in to crypto and, of course, interest rates, right? So that's going to be pretty important there. Remember, the Fed has a dual mandate there around employment and inflation. So let's see how it goes. But, of course, Trump is pro-growth, and he's expanding the supply side to adapt to increase demand. And Chair Walsh is also pro-growth and also pro-crypto. So I think we're in good hands, guys. I think we're in good hands there. All right, let's jump away to the Bitcoin. Actually, we're going to bring up CoinGecko. I'm going to do the majors first, and then we'll zoom into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's pumping right now as we speak, of course. I should probably be covering it straight away. Anyway, we got the total market cap of crypto. Awesome, guys. 2.8 trillion. Woohoo! Let's go. Let's go. 2.8 trillion. Let's give that a round of applause, I think. It's worthy. It's worthy. Yeah, not worthy. All right. So 2.8 trillion, we're at 1.4% on CoinGecko. The Bitcoin at the moment on the average is at 80,777. It's been going up about $300 during the live stream. Yep, the Crypto Night Show's got power, market power. We're up 2.1% on the 24 hours. Ethereum there is at 2,520. And of course, I put both of those 80,000 and 2,500 on the video title. We're up 0.5% on Ethereum there. We're up about $15 since we started the show, I think. BNB at number 4, up 0.9% at, let's just round it, $714. XRP up 1.9% at $1.46. Solana up 7.2% at $1.09. Tron up 0.7% at just below 34 cents. Hyperliquid up 2.4% at $84.38. Is that new all-time high? It's got to be pretty up there. At least new local. We're all pumping there on the back of Bitcoin. Dogecoin there at number 11, up 1.7% at just below 9 cents, so 8.9 cents there. Pretty cool. And of course, we've got to give honorable mention to Zcash, which flipped Dogecoin yesterday. It is down 0.4% today, and the market cap is just over $100 million below. So we'll see the battle between Zcash and Dogecoin on the mix there. Let's look at the top 5 and the top 100 for the last 24 hours. We've got Athena there, or ENA, up 16.8%. Trump official up 15.7%. Jupiter up 9.3%. Lighter, the Hyperliquid competitor. Look at that market cap now, guys. We've been talking about it for some time, and this is up 8.1% today. That market cap is heading towards $1 billion, guys. What a re-rate! And we know that they've got their new product, their option solution coming up, right? $936 million, pretty cool. Not far from $1 billion. Being one of the wildcats, came into the top 100 and now sitting at number 73, looking pretty good as old later. And of course, we've got VeChain there as well. VET up 8.1%. Interesting. I don't know if it's been a while since we've seen that one. Looking at the top 5 in the last week. Well, official Trump there, 63%. Obviously on the back of that Trump week that we had last week. And of course, we got S&P X 6900 come back into the mix as well, up 50%, sitting at right now at number 100. So it's just at the top there, just entering there. And we got Athena there up 47.6% for the week. Zcash up 42.9%. A lot of the same Bitcoiners there in play with the Zcash and the privacy theme there, and that's pretty cool. We'll see how that continues. And then, of course, VeChain there, VET's there, up 40%. Not bad, not bad. There's the top 5. There's got a few little interesting ones. Number 6 is Lighter. And number 7 there is Pudgy Penguins. There we go, Pudgy Penguins. All right, so we've got top gainers in top 1,000. We've got Debt Relief Bot up 71%, Chump Coin up 46%, and Aura up 42%. Those are the top ones in the top 1,000 right now. Trending overall, we've got Athena, Solana, and Pudgy Penguins. Those are trending overall. That's the market. So yeah, 2.8 trillion up 1.4%, and we've got Bitcoin rallying as we speak on the live stream. So we'll get to it. Let's go to the Bitcoin chart. Without further ado, here we go. There's the hourly chart there. Remember when we had our first rally, it was back up here. We got up to 81,265. That is our best test so far of this incredible zone that we're in. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And then, of course, look, we came all the way back down, came back down to 77,600. So we've got good support at 7,800. 78,000. That's our support zone. We've got resistance, of course. We'll talk about that in the weekly. But we are pushing high here, onwards and upwards. So that's the 1 hourly chart. Let's go to the 4 hour quickly as we zoom into long time frames. Look, up we go there. We've got the 54 hour moving now at 77,223. Also support levels there. So we've got horizontal support and the moving average there. Horizontal support probably a bit better in the mix there compared to the moving averages, but still very good. Obviously, we've probably had a bit of a cooling as well, somewhat in the outside, somewhat I should say, and then up as well. So we're at $80,800 now on Coinbase. So up we go, up we go. Look at that, we've been going up all the way there, pretty nice. So that is the 4 hour. Let's go to the daily, getting into some of the serious movings now, and we've got a nice move upwards here, looking very good as well. The daily, of course, on Bitcoin. We've got the 50 daily moving average at $66,778. We've got the 200 moving average for the daily at $69,279. So where we got there? About a gap of, was it 2,000, 2,500 or something? So pretty cool. 8, 9. Oh, it's at 3,500. It's probably more like 3,500. No, it's actually not that much, is it? Two, two, three. Yeah, but about 3,500. So a gap is closing, and of course, a golden cross would occur if that 50 crosses the daily there. Let's go to the weekly as well. And now we're getting into our key marks, right? This is our key marks here. You can see the 50 weekly moving average at $81,105. We've got the third lower high, right, in our bear market structure. Third lower high here at about 82,300, and we peaked out slightly higher than that at 82,800. So, somewhere between 82,300 and let's just say 3,000 is our resistance level. We talked about our support level at 77,000, 78,000. So that's all the way down here. That is where we are right now. So let's put in the overlays. That gives sort of a bit of suggestion there. So yeah, this is our key line there, and that is what we want to break. We've got support at 77, 78, and we've got this long-term horizontal support here. What was the resistance at 71k, right? So we want to keep 71k intact. So let's assume that we had this big, giant record weekly candle back here. Very good signs of a bullish market. Not only was it a big, strong sign, but also breaking down this bear resistance on the weekly. Very bullish, right? Very bullish. We need one more sign sealed of approval here, and that is getting over this 83k mark ultimately, 82,200 in the short term. So we really want to bust through that, and 83k to be safe, right? To get above that candle on the week there for the 4th of May. So that's kind of the zone there. So longer term support at 71, hold that, very important. So we did have a bear pullback. Then that's kind of, hold the grail. But we've got a bigger step there at 77, 78 to resistance, and then 71 there to give us some support, 71 to 73, let's say. So very, very cool. At the moment, we're looking bullish though, right? We're on the bullish side, and we've got a breakthrough. So the 50 weekly moving average is 81,100, and we've got this market 82,200, let's say. So what's that? $1,100 gap there, and of course we've probably got $1,900 gap to get to 83. So we really need to move up by about $1,900. At the moment, we're moving up as we speak. We moved up about $500 since we started the live stream. So all things are possible, all right? Not probable, but all possible there. All right, so that's kind of the cool stuff. And as you guys know, I've been very bullish about us getting green candles. In other words, I think we're going to do it. We're going to move to the upside. We got the Clarity Act on the 15th. We've had the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent opening up intervention into the 10, 30-year bond curve. So very bullish there, even if it's symbolic mostly. They then went from, we're going to go from 2 to 4 billion in September, and then we might just do open market operations in that sense. And then they start talking about their full balance sheet, almost $1 trillion, and all guns. So what the hell is going on there? Right. And then we've got the Fed coming out on Friday. So let's see what this Treasury Fed combo does, right, moving forward. But that brought back the old debasement trade for Bitcoin. And of course, that leads into also store of value. And of course, scarcity versus abundance. We've got these three major themes now running for Bitcoin, all back on the table, I would argue. Very exciting here. And we've got risk on sentiment, a beta move, right? A beta move. Very, very cool. And you saw that VIX index down. So everything looking pretty bullish. And now we've got this nice green candle forming. Now we need to close above, I would say, to be clear, 83K by the end of the week. Now, if we can get over even some of these smaller moves here, particularly 82,200. I think that's still pretty bullish as well. So 82,300, let's be on that mark. And then to 83 there, I think is where we want to go. So 82,200, 300. And then if we can get over 83, then that's full on stamp, sign, seal approval for me on a weekly close coming up. So we've still got a couple of days left to get over the bear market ultimately. So we've broken the bear resistance. We've had a huge candle, a really hyper bullish candle. We're starting a second week as well. We're coming up to this cliff for the clarity vote on the 15th September. And so we've got the bond market intervention. We've got the D-Day operations, and of course now we've also got. We may have the Fed come out with something tonight in about 12 hours or so, and then we've also got the insurance policy of the SEC, CFTC doing regulations, and we saw the SEC coming out around custodial just yesterday, and that's their second sort of policy movement. And we've got the CFTCs coming in after the 15th. So we've got our insurance policy, we've got a win-win outcome. And so green markets on the move. And what have we seen? We've seen real positive moves with the digital asset treasuries, real positive move with the ETFs, with the big capital flow. Everything is looking pretty bullish, isn't it? You got the bears out there saying it's too good to be true, and we might go down. And that's true. We've always got a probability, chance of going down after this big move. But look, I think we're looking very good for the upside with all the things that are mentioned, all those catalysts. And you can see, we have green weeks in a row. Look, all these green weeks in the bull market. Green weeks here, green weeks here, and green weeks here. Look, in a row. And so why not have green weeks here now that we've got a win-win situation on regulations and rulemaking? It just seems, too good, right? Too good. We can't lose. So what is the defeater? Well, we've got a little bit of a headwind with the oil prices. What else? I think everything's kind of falling in line, right? We had the White House last week, talking about maybe the White House buys Bitcoin, part of the Bitcoin strategy. We'll see what happens there. Question mark. We got all the stuff around rulemaking, the CFTC, the CSTC, all the players there, very, very bullish, and we've got the Clarity Act there going through. Clarity Act will be permanent, also open up registration and other things like that. But actually, we're going to get rulemaking of some form with the two regulators anyway within existing laws. And so that's bullish, right? So I don't know, it just looks too good, guys. Now, the 4-year cycle, people, and for October, it looks like we got the low in on June, doesn't it? Looks unless something, what's going to happen? What's the defeater? Unless something really gets us and we break down below 71K, what is the defeater? It looks very, very positive at the moment and looks like we're front run that October 4-year cycle, guys. So the 4-year cycle, guys, almost there, not quite, 1 year after the high. Getting the low, and it looks like it got front run at this stage. 57,700 or whatever it was back here in June, onwards and upwards. And this power move, this weekly candle, very powerful. We've got one more decision to go, Mike. One more. That's it. And we might hit it this weekend. Fingers crossed. Weekly close, guys. That would be very bullish indeed. That's what we're looking for, the final seal of the end of the bear market and the beginning of the bull market. And I think this bull market's going to be ginormous, guys. I think it's going to be ginormous. I think it's going to be a real fundamental re-rating, and we could see some big numbers for Bitcoin, beating out that 127 last year. So also starting to head towards 150 to 250, and it's going to probably happen very rapidly. It's going to be, and with rapid movements, violence as well, right? Violence as well. We do get pullbacks on the way as we head towards that glory, but man, it's looking pretty exciting now. One more move to confirm that we're out of the bear market there and we're not just in some sort of bull trap there. So cool. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. It's looking hyper bullish, guys. Looking hyper bullish indeed. Here we are, 80,800. Let's see if we can close this week out above, specifically above 82,300. But really, I'd love it to get to 83, right? 83K and close that weekly. And then potentially we have 2 more weeks leading into the 15th there to get green weekly candles as well. Imagine that, guys. Imagine that. It'll blow minds, mate. Blow minds. Blow minds. But we're looking good. Looking good there. And like I say, rulemaking is there. Liquidity is flowing. So let's get into it, guys. Let's go to ETFs first. And then we'll do the digital asset treasuries. We've got a lot to talk about with the digital asset treasuries with this bullish move on Bitcoin. So at the moment, we've actually had a slight down on the 27th. So a little dip for Bitcoin purchases. So we obviously got the BTC ETF was really the key one that took us down. Otherwise, we had 5 out of 7 ETFs buying. We had the GBTC and the FBTC selling. That gave us a net number of 446 Bitcoin, which is equivalent to $35 million at the moment. So that's kind of where we are there. But look at the rest of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we had real positive days. 4,300, 4,000, 3,000 Bitcoin buys, which in US dollar terms is 300 million, 337 million, 314 million. Capital is flying, guys. So, $1 billion is coming in. And last week was even better. Look at last week. I think it was close to $2 billion or something. It was pretty high anyway. 1 billion, 1.5 billion, let's say. Pretty big numbers coming in. And I think it's just going to rocket from there. So since the inception of ETFs there, the 11th of January 2024, and as of course, if you'd been following this show, we covered it on the launch. We're up $55 billion at current prices being invested, which is equivalent to 688,000 Bitcoin has been consumed and held by the ETFs. And this is just going to blow up, guys, going to blow up. And we've seen some of that blow up just starting to warm up here on the charts here. Pretty exciting stuff. All right, so that's the Bitcoin ETFs. I'm going to move that over there for a minute. Let's get to the digital treasuries. So the digital treasuries here, obviously you can see them all. Look at them all. I've got them all up there at the top 100 at least. And look at that. They got 1,260,000 Bitcoin. Pretty awesome, right? Pretty awesome. And of course, the top one there is Michael Saylor's strategy with 840,000 Bitcoin. They've sold about 4,000 Bitcoin. I think it's close to 4,000 Bitcoin as they've repositioned their capital management strategy. And now I think they're in really good stead, right? So something like 4 years of dividend coverage and essentially close to net debt, right? So very exciting there, the cash versus the convertibles, right? So looking really good there. And of course, what else we can say? We've got number 7 is Strive down here. It's got a green arrow because it's been buying, and they're at 21,356. But they've had a great week this week. They had 2 great days last week, but they bought 430 Bitcoin because their preferred stock is back to $100, which means that they can go issue more preferred stock. That is the SATA. SATA. What is it called? I'm trying to say SATA code. I've forgotten the right name. Ticker, the SATA ticker. That's a bit better. SATA ticker for Strive, and that is they raised about 430 Bitcoin last week. This week is even better, guys. They also raised common stock last week, so maybe sort of 700 equivalents of common stock of ASST, which is the common stock for Strive. They raised 1,100 Bitcoin last week, and this week I think they're going to go over 2,000, guys. So let's talk about it. So let's go to the digital asset treasuries. In fact, let's quickly look at the big strategy, and we'll have a look at the price. I think we have the price on here. Let me have a look here. So let's see. We've got the price. I thought we had the price on this chart in particular. No, we don't have it on the price on there. Okay, where's the price? Not on there. I thought this might be on this one. Let's ignore that. We're going to go check it out anyway on the charts. We'll go find it. But let's go back to the digital treasuries. Oh God, where are we going up here? Going all the way back. Digital credit. There we go. I've changed the view. Got myself a little bit lost there. All right, so here we go. We got the stretch here, $98, guys. So they're not quite at $100 yet for strategy. Remember, the strategy common stock is MSTR. We're going to check that in a minute. It's been booming, and overnight it absolutely rallied hard. But Stretch is the preferred stock there, $98. Not quite back. No Bitcoin raised so far. It's been a bit of a road back to glory, and that's pretty much it. They got up to $98.09 or something. They're still about $2 short. They closed short there at $98. So $1.98 closed below $100. So still work to be done, even with all the capital management work. But they're getting there. They're clawing their way back, and Bitcoin is pumping. It's helping them. So there we go. It's all worked out. All worked out in the end. All right. So we're getting there. But of course, what's the other one? Is Strive, right? The common stock is ASST. The preferred stock is SATA. That's the one that they raised the money from the debt markets. Look at today's result, guys. Success breeds success. Positive flywheel stuff. And they closed at $100.01. Remember, $100.01. They can raise more money. And let's have a look at today's. Look at this, guys. That yellow line, there's a dashed yellow line there. That is the $100 mark. And of course, they've been pumping over it all day. Look at that. Woohoo, during the regular hours there. And the volume's coming in. A big candle here. Probably some key player there, right? 138,000 shares. Woohoo. So on the mark there. And of course, onwards and upwards there. So some big numbers going through. Let's have a look what they had. Well, apparently this is the estimate. So typically they're going to be over this. But 50 million daily volume. 34.7 million at net ATM proceeds. So out of that 50 mil, almost 35 million above $100. And that's a lot of money. Take that 35 million and go buy Bitcoin. Average price 80,276 equals around about 432 Bitcoin. That's an estimate. It's probably higher, but pretty bullish, right? So let's look at just this week. We looked at last week, so we've got 4 days so far this week. That's going to be reported in next Monday's weekly update. And remember, last Monday's update was 1,100 Bitcoin. So Monday they did 250. Pretty amazing stuff, like 250. Some big volumes going through as well. And so let's have a look at Tuesday. Tuesday there. Tuesday, they raised enough money for how much? 215. So 215 there, and of course Wednesday, I should say, the 26th. How much did they raise? This is all taking a Bitcoin off the market. 187, looking pretty good. And what else we got there? Today's number, right? Massive, 432. OMG, that's huge. 432. All right, so that's 1,086 Bitcoin so far, and they've still got one more day to go. And they've been going up. So let's see what happens here on the Friday. That's going to be pretty awesome. And will they do so much that they're going to get hit over 1,500 Bitcoin? No doubt. I think they're going to do that. They may even do a bigger day, guys. They maybe do like a 1,000 Bitcoin on a day. So that might be just 2,000, just what they preferred. Which is massive, right? I mean, they've been adding, last week they, with 1,100, they added about 5% to their total. I mean, they're sitting on 21,000 now, and this is going to get jumped them to 24,000 because they're likely to do common stock as well on top of this, and therefore raise maybe another 1,000. Could be instead of a 5% gain, it could be 10% as they track up there. Pretty awesome stuff. So that is bullish and really, really cool. Imagine if we had strategy doing it too. Not too far away. Remember, the yield on here is 13%. Strategy at the moment is 12%. And so there's got a bit of that. We also have, SATA pays out essentially daily dividends, about 5.2 cents per share, based on a 250-day workday per year. And then we've also got, the MicroStrategy strategy doing bi-monthly, right? So that's kind of some differentials there. It is a different risk return trade as well, and of course the average prices are different too. So MSTR are cheaper over time because it's been around for longer, buying cheaper Bitcoin. That's pretty much it. So bullish, guys. Success breeds success. Let's go to strategy. Zoom in on that a little bit there. So we can see the MNAVs are also positive. So the MNAV here for a strategy is 1.11, guys. 1.11. So the market is valuing it a bit more than the Bitcoin held. So that's a really positive there. Very, very cool stuff. 1.11, looking good there. And so looking really, really great. I mean, so what else can you say? Now let's go to the USD reserve. We got 5.1 billion plus another 1.6. So what's that? 6.7 billion. Debt is 6.7. So they're essentially net debt zero, right? Net debt zero. Pretty awesome stuff there. And US duration there, almost 4 years, right? Almost 4 years to cover dividends. Powerful stuff. What are they going to do next Monday? What are they going to announce? What are they going to do? It's going to be fun to see. All right, so cool stuff happening there. And net debt is pretty cool because that Strive has got no debt. So they've got amplification. In other words, they issued these preferreds, but they don't have debt there. So pretty cool. I think they've got a little product that's coming up due. But I think that's pretty much the end of it. So it's like within the next few days or something. But essentially no debt there for Strive. Pretty powerful stuff. Diamond Hands gives a thumbs up. Absolutely, man. It is powerful stuff, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying it. So the digital asset, the ETFs are flooding money in. The digital assets are getting into a very strong position. I think we're in a pivot moment right now, just where we are today. Pivot moment for the digital asset treasuries. We're very close to, let's say, quite a pivot moment, kind of like a week. We really want to get strategy back to $100. That's just going to be huge, potentially billions and dollars going through there. Remember how big the volumes are. Strategy is doing, I think they've just broken down into one of the top volumes in the all stock market. So, this is very powerful stuff. If you've got strategy, you've got Strive, they're getting really good volumes. That means that they can tap the market, guys. They can tap the market. It is really powerful stuff. And then, of course, Bitmine also in that case, getting big volume trades. That means you can tap the market and issue more shares in preferreds and in common stock. It is powerful stuff. And all three of those are sitting pretty, guys. Very, very pretty indeed. All right, so that is kind of cool. Let's jump away from that. We also had some big news outside the DATs. We also have, before we do that, let's go have a look at a couple of the prices. Before we do that, let's go have a look at MSTR price. So it had a great day. Look at 11.5% during regular hours, but even after hours, it kept going up to 1.2% there. So it ended up at 137%, $137 on the close, and $139 after hours. So powerful stuff, guys, on MSTR. Let's look at Strive. I think I got Strive here. Actually, let's type it in. ASST. And let's pull this up here as well. It closed up 7.5% at $23.12. It is facing resistance at this level. The next level is about $27 if it gets there. After hours, $23.33, up another almost 1%. So pretty stuff. So up over 8.5%. Pretty powerful stuff. We look at the six monthly chart there. I'm not sure if it's going to render, but no, it's not rendering. But it's up massive, right? Strive is up massive, 2-3x on Strive. Pretty amazing. All right, so that is kind of that. Now, we did have, before we get to the Ethereum side of things, we did have Charles Schwab is going to be adding a link to its Schwab platform. I think this is a pretty big deal. As the largest broker in the US, Charles Schwab serves 40 million brokerage accounts and manages $11.77 trillion in client assets. I think this is a big addition today. Announcements from Charles Schwab. So pretty good stuff happening here with Chainlink. But they're adding, this really, they're tying in their crypto platform onto their broker platform. It's a big deal. So you can see we're just winning all the time, guys. Mass adoption, institutional adoption, crypto's dominating, blockchain's dominating. We're winning. Hashtag winning. I mean, it's just unstoppable now. It's the force is just getting out of control. It's going to be pretty exciting. So that's pretty much it for Ethereum. There, I want to bring in that chain link as well. All the investment funds, TradeFi is coming, guys. It is flooding in, and it's going to be really exciting. All right, so let's get into Ethereum. And let me bring that up quickly. So we're going to bring up the charts, talk about that. It is exciting. I hope you guys are excited. You should be. This is really great times right now. Let's bring up Ethereum. We are expecting Ethereum to outdo Bitcoin, right, quite dramatically. It is going to have its ebbs and flows in regards to that. But we probably will start to see some big moves on Ethereum, even bigger, right, that relative to ETH, relative to Bitcoin, I should say. So let's get to the hourly chart. We'll look at that too. And then we'll go to the ETFs, and I'm going to quickly talk about the number one digital asset treasury, Bitmine. And of course, this compared to Sharplink, this has also got a positive MNAV now. So it's moved to positive MNAV. So we'll get to that. And Sharplink's still struggling a little bit there. Straplink's doing amazing stuff. Don't get me wrong, but it seems like the Bitmine has got the setup really nicely for the superior MNAV. We've got Wookie in the house there, one of our moderators and community leaders there in the Discord. Hey, Mikey and Super, big shout out there. Well, you too, Wookie. Always a pleasure. All right, look, hey, we've got a great community watching right now. If you're loving the content, smash the follow button on X, hit the repost button on the show. Let's get this audience up. And of course, if you're on YouTube as well, don't forget to subscribe on the way in. It really helps a lot there. All right, so here we are with Bitmine. It is looking juicy, guys, but we're going to get to the price first. This is the hourly chart here. Look at this. We already, we had these ramp ups here. We were targeting 25.31. We had, this big move over here a couple of days back on the 21st, which is a week ago now, and we got up to 25.47. Yeah, 25.48. So we had that first attempt, right? Really exciting, and we'll see why that's the first attempt. And then we had the third attempt here, the major one here. We got the 25.67, and we got these higher lows drifting up here. And look, we're at 25.34 on Ethereum here. Very cool on the hourly. So some nice hourly action there. Real consolidation looking good. Let's go to the 4 hour as we move forward. We got the Fed chair coming out tonight, right? Let's get rid of those overlays. That is the 4 hourly chart. We got the 4 hour moving average up at $2,433. It is chasing the charts there, obviously because of this big move. Let's go to the daily quickly. The daily here. We're getting into, look at this, guys. Woo! Now, we said we had about $3,500 difference between the 50 and the 200-day moving average for Bitcoin. Well, not so much for Ethereum. We got 1,900. Oh, this is unbelievable, isn't it? 50-day at $1,993 right now. We got the 200-day at 2018. We're $25 approximately short of a bullish a golden cross. OMG, what's this going to do to the chart? I mean, the TA guys will love this. That's really bull. Help setting us up for another big green candle. That's kind of what we're hunting, right? We're hunting there. Rather than the bear case of a retrace, hunting another move to the upside. And we'll talk about that. So very bullish, guys, very bullish. All right, let's go to the weekly here at the moment. On the weekly chart, this is our big view, right? Our big long-term view. And look at the 200 weekly moving average. This is our 4-year kind of cycle, dynamic cycle moving average. And we're at 2,497. Our 50 weekly moving average is at 2,584. It is coming down, of course. And we are in a junction here. Now, for Ethereum, we're actually technically over the third lower high, right, that we saw with Bitcoin. Still trying to get over that, but with Ethereum, we're actually above it. Ethereum, they're outperforming, really. So we're at this final crossroads, though. really even though we've outdone the third level, we've got to, moving above these averages are very important there as well. And so we want to get above, get above 2600, I think, just to clear it out and close the weekly above there, right? So even a close above, positive sign, but let's say 2600 just to be round numbers there. That'd be very cool. So that is the weekly. Let's add the overlays. And of course, let's go here. I've got the overlays back on. Bam. I don't know. Where's it gone? There we go. All right. So cool. There's the overlays. We've still got the, this here's the 15th September for the Clarity Act. Like I say, we've got a win-win now with the rule makers by the SEC, CFTC, puts more pressure on the Clarity Act vote as well on the 15th. We've got another green week here. Very, very important. And I, don't see any reason why we're not going to have multiple green weeks in a row. At this stage, we're looking very good. And so, yeah, very powerful stuff. Last year, we had a 350% move in 133 days. That was on the back of short cover, which is what triggered this market, really. Then, of course, we've got on top of that, we had the Clarity Act with the stablecoin boom. And, of course, we also had the digital asset treasuries coming in, particularly from June, like Bitmine and so forth. And so we had two survive out of all those that went in there. So pretty exciting stuff. And then we also had obviously tariff relief news as well, as Trump was reordering the World Trade Order, which he's still doing, right? Still doing stuff like that with Canada recently, right? Because Canada. Anyway, now Canada's in a funny position, of course, because they've got Carney. Carney's a globalist stooge, all right? So we've got the problems with him and too many people there. So hopefully Alberta ends up breaking apart. We can break apart Canada and head it to the right side of the world, the conservative side, right? That'd be the only way you're going to preserve the West, right? Is doing that. All right, and good values, which progressives, liberals, they're our enemy right now in the West, right? They're crashing the West, destroying the West. So hopefully we're going to defeat them as well. All right, so we're at this kind of where we are on the chart. That circle there is our battleground. We get over that level, as I say, 2600. We're on the move, right? And then we're heading up to 3,000, right? So 2,800, 3,000. And of course, we haven't got the volumes on here, but there's a big gap in volumes there. So 28 to 3,000 is our next move. So this is very crucial. And that next move is another green candle, right? And that would push a nice green candle as we head towards the vote for September there. All right, so that's kind of the play right now. Obviously, we've got all the bullish catalysts that we had in Bitcoin also really apply here to crypto. But crypto, of course, Bitcoin is a commodity, so it doesn't really care too much about Clarity Act. But for Ethereum, Clarity Act is important, but we've now got insurance with the CFTC rulemaking. So, it's really cool. We're in win-win, right? We're obviously on top of Ethereum. We have smart contracts, and we have a battle-tested blockchain. So what does that mean? Well, it means that we've got tokenization boom on at the moment, around about 40 billion. What will it be next year? Maybe $1 trillion. We've got the DTCC coming in on October. Bullish, hyper bullish. It's a hyper bullish move, right? Ramps up dramatically. And that is the Waterworks company for TradeFi. And of course, they're coming to blockchain to take up the same Waterworks company position where they dominate settlements. They have got 114 trillion under management based on last year's data and 4.6 quadrillion in settlements. So just a fraction of that coming to the chain and ramping up is ginormous, guys. Takeoff is here next year. First wave of maturity, we could be well over $1 trillion, right? And the same time next year, maybe by June or something, we'll see. But it's a big deal from October, and Ethereum is going to win that. Ethereum is dominating stablecoins, dominating tokenization, and no doubt dominating AI as well. So there are other chains that are going to do well, Solana, Canton, others, but this is kingpin for Ethereum here, dominating that whole segment. It is the chosen one, right? It is the chosen chain is Ethereum there. I think that's pretty evident now. So bullish stuff, October, looking really good. So 15th September, the vote, October, DTCC, that's going to be a ramp up. We know that clients can't wait. This is what the head of the DTCC said. They want to count. They're so bullish. That was after the July trials. And then, of course, November, we've got the midterms, right? So tricky times in the midterms. I hope that we hold on to all the parts of government there, the Senate and the House. Very important there, certainly. Fingers crossed, guys. Let's see how we go. Certainly had some wins around digital ID and things like that, I think, and jurisdiction areas. So we'll see what happens. Voting areas, I should say. Question mark. So that's kind of the play out at the moment on the Ethereum. And of course, we've got the Fed chair tonight. That speech is going to be important around the interest rate. Let's see what he says, because he's very, very less is more from him. And I kind of like that to some degree. All right, so that is Ethereum. Let's jump into some of the catalysts. Well, we've got the ETFs, right? So let's have a look at the ETFs for Ethereum. They've been hyper bullish, right? Hyper bullish there, and it just rolls on. I mean, Ethereum is looking so good, guys. It is looking so good. We've got the look at these. Look at this last. Look, it's all green, guys. It's all green. Look at that. It's all green every day. Day going green, 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 green. Let's look at the numbers over the last week for the 24th of August. We had 47,000 ETH bought, guys, 47. Then on Tuesday, we had 72,500. On the Wednesday, we had 78,800 ETH. And then, of course, on the yesterday, of the 27th there, almost 30,000 ETH, guys. Woo! Look at the money. Let's do the money side of things. 115 million Monday, 180 million Tuesday, 192 million Wednesday, 75 million Thursday. And we had green better than Bitcoin. We had green, all green last week. Crazy stuff, right? Crazy stuff. Looking really good. So, big money, hundreds of millions of dollars coming in from the ETFs. And of course, the ETF there flowed as flipped. I just realized I'm not sharing the channel. The whole time I was covering Ethereum and I didn't share it. Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to go back to the charts and briefly cover that. Some happens sometimes. Diamond Hand sends Win Lambo indeed. So that there is the ETFs. So driving that ETH chart. I'm going to have to bring the ETH chart back up since you guys I wasn't even sharing the screen at the time. My bad. All right, so let's go to Ethereum here and quickly look at this. I'm just going to do the week this time rather than daily, just so we just quickly cover that. But here it is, the battleground, guys. Sorry about that before. This is the battleground here. Look at that. That is, we want to get over that 2,600 basically. There's a big gap in volumes on the market, so we can jump straight away to 28 to 3,000, and we may very well get green candles all the way to the 15th there, looking very positive. Maybe a slight pullback before, we'll see on that last week, but certainly a couple green candles, not quite doable. And look at back here, green candles, guys, in the bull market. But look, we've broken this resistance down on the weekly. We had this little consolidating channel and then power move, and what a power move it was, and up we go, right? So exciting times, guys, exciting times on this chart. So very cool. It's up and away here on the weekly. And as I said, I did point out the daily as well because I want to do that quickly before we go. And we got this golden cross with about $25 gap now. Unbelievable. Look at that golden cross there. And we're inching up here, close up. So that's kind of cool. Everything looking really good. Let's quickly go to the weekly one more time. We want to close out the weekly, hopefully over 2,600. Very important there, above the 50-week moving average. And we're already above the 200, but we want to close above the 50. Looking very good. We're already above the third low high, right? This third low high. And that was around about 24.65 at the top. On average around 24.13. So we've already covered that out, unlike Bitcoin, which is trying to do that still. This is very bullish. So Bitcoin covers, it breaks out above 83,000 and finishes the week for that. Then what's Ethereum going to be? I think we're going, guys, to 28 to 23,000. Really, really exciting there. All right, so kind of cool on the ETH chart. So I thought we'd get that back. Hopefully that made up for that, not sharing the screen. All right, now BMNR, the big digital asset treasury. So we've got big flows coming through the ETFs. And now we've got Bitmine here looking really good. The number one digital asset treasury. It is huge, right? So we go to the treasury numbers. They're holding over 5.8 million, right? So they're really up high here. I think they're at 5,8,350 or something. They're really climbing. They've got to get to 66 million and 32,000. I think it is 6,032,000 to get 5% of all ETH. They're the biggest staker in the world, right? So they're already staking over 5 million. I think it's almost 5.1 million. A big deal there, right? But let's have a quick look at the overview here. So the BMR price there, $25.63. It did close up higher than that after market. It actually reached $26.50. I mean, it's just in the beginning. It's at that pivotal moment is starting to turn, and the MNAV has got back over 1, guys. The MNAV has got back over 1. It's finally climbed back. That's what I'm saying. The digital asset treasuries have really spun around, being sub 1 MNAV, which means they can't raise common stock capital. If they're going to increase the share per ETH or Bitcoin per share, and they've got to wait for that. And so we already see probably at the end of last week on the Friday there that Bitmine probably got a positive MNAV. They raised cash on that movement and ended up with about 300 million cash. They were down at like 78 million. So up and up there. They also bought another, close to 40,000 ETH last week. I mean, just a big jump in numbers. And we already know they've bought another 20,000 so far this week. What will their their weekly update be next week? All positive fuel stuff, right? The market will react to that and helps generally with the market movements as well. So a positive one MNAV, which means that they can issue more common stock, buy more ETH, and get towards that 6 million. Very, very cool. I don't think they're going to glide just on the staking ETH. They obviously have to run the company, and they need a certain amount of cash to do that by month. And they've got very expensive contracts. There's the only criticism I have of Bitmine is the ETH Towers contract is particularly expensive. In other words, above average, quite strongly. And so that's a criticism. And the O&O is the operations there is also on the high side too. But credit to Tom Lee. He's been done a couple of streams lately on some big channels. So if you go watch those videos about Tom Lee there, not getting the 5% straight away because he gets I think it's $50 million, $50 million for doing it. So he's really operating this pretty well. Sure, he bought a lot of high ETH, but he was helping the market last year. Imagine how low Ethereum would have got without the digital asset treasuries last year into this year. And imagine, it was a huge amount of buying. And of course, imagine, where it will go from here now that he's locking all that away, along with Sharplink as well. We've got Joseph Chalom there. They're reinvesting long-term capital and including a lot of the yield that they make as well. So these guys are permanent capital guys, and these two digital asset treasuries in Ethereum are setting up and supporting a lot of the spin-outs out of the Ethereum Foundation, like ETH Labs, like ETH Institutional, and it's very, very bullish stuff, right? Very, very bullish indeed. So game on there. We've got some good stuff happening here. Positive MNAV. Everything is going Goldie. It's going Goldie, and we're just at the breakout levels, guys. I think we're just going to ratchet up from here. It's going to be very, very exciting to see that, especially with the markets opening up. We've got one more day to watch that operate. That NAV per share, $25.49 at 1.01. So they're going to be able to raise more cash, and timing's perfect, right? On average, Tom Lee's done a pretty good job managing this at the end of the day. And of course, now with the positive wheels, just on the last mile for the ETH to get up to 6 million, it is pretty powerful stuff. And that's not going to be dumped on your heads, guys, which is the good news. That's just going to be locked away, and they're going to be earning a nice yield. They'll use they will sell some of the yield down for operations and things, but they're going to be using a lot of that yield also for permanent capital and investing in high yield projects and bringing new services to the market, because they're not just focused on the DAT. They're also, that's just the foundation of the company. They're focused on the superstructures, they call it, on that foundation, which is going to bring finance over, institutional adoption, retail mass adoption via Mr. Beast, digital ID, digital AI services, and all that sort of stuff. That's what Tom Lee's focused on, the big game. Not many people talk about that, but that's the big strategy, guys, and that's going to potentially add many X's to Bitmine. Bitmine is going to be a juggernaut. It's pretty amazing. And of course, remember, just like Strategy and Strive, they have some of the top volumes in the stock market, and therefore they can tap that market and just build strength there. Very exciting. And also super well connected, right? Tom Lee, is now pretty much the front man for Ethereum. And we got on the technical side, Vitalik still sitting in the background there. And of course, we got some generals on the field as well. That includes Joseph Shalom, and of course, Joseph Luderbin, co-founder of Ethereum, and many other cool things. So it's exciting times, guys. And, all these ETH nodes all on the positive there. And we got our next upgrade, the Glamsterdam. It is going to be pretty awesome moving forward. It's a win-win combination, and expect big things to happen here as well. And then we got those mega themes, tokenization, AI, and Boom Time and DTCC in on October. Come on, guys, this is too good. And now we've got insurance policy around regulation rules. OMG, this is just exciting times. So we're at this turning point for the DATs. This is also moving into positive flywheel territory for Ethereum and crypto. It is pretty cool. Ethereum definitely is the chosen one. Obviously, many other chains will do well also. So that's pretty much our coverage of the majors. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll come back to Bitcoin and Ethereum towards the end of the stream, since it's pumping. We'll see where it ends up. But it's already Bitcoin was already up about $500 during the live, and Ethereum was about $15, I think. Right, now I'm just going to bring up the ETH to Bitcoin ratio just to finalize that out there. We like to be, have the comprehensive BTC coverage. Let's see what else is going here. So Ethereum BTC. Let's go to the chart, and then we're going to get into Pulse Chain, guys. Pulse Chain next. Downstream of Ethereum, downstream of Bitcoin, value chain, guys, value chain. And let's have a look at the charts here for ETH to BTC. Look at that, guys. Already winning, right? Already winning. So back here in June, arguably when we had the bottom of a Bitcoin chart, all things equal, and we're not quite, we've got that last confirmation to make. Just want to make that as a qualification, but it's looking good, right? And here we are up here at 3.1%. So we've gone from 2.6%, 2.5% up to 3.1%. So in other words, Ethereum's worth 3.1% of a Bitcoin. How high is it going to go? Well, we've got the weekly averages here. So the 200 weekly average is kind of 4-year average is at 4.5%. So 4.5%. Even if we get back to that, that's a re-rate of Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum goes up. So it's a pretty big deal. So if Ethereum is Bitcoin's 100,000, then we get to 4,500 ETH, right? It's kind of the logic there. So pretty awesome stuff. Pretty awesome stuff. Now, if we go further than that, and I'm expecting us to blow these numbers out of the water. If we go back to the 2021 numbers, we're up at 8.8%, 8.9%. So if Bitcoin's 100,000, we're at $8,900 on ETH. It's awesome stuff. But I think we're going to blow past it, guys. We had big numbers back here in 2017, in June 2017, at 17% ETH of that. And of course, not long after the launch, and of course, we could see bigger numbers than that. We could end up going to 25% or more even if Ethereum gets to that full payment rails where all the finance and everything else over in the blockchain there. I think it's pretty big numbers. So if Bitcoin was 100,000, we'd be at $25,000 ETH. If Bitcoin is at $1 million, we're at $250,000 per ETH. That's further out in the future, but certainly watch that over the years ahead. Just depends what your time horizon is. We're hyper bullish over the next 6 to 24 months on Ethereum. I think it's probably going to be the most valuable re-rate. And then, of course, we've got that longer term view as this adoption and this big move to modern finance on the blockchain occurs, and Ethereum there, the chief winner there, the chosen one. All right, so that's a quick fix there. Let's go into Pulse Chain. Once again, not financial advice and all that good stuff. Just take note of that. But man, the charts are looking great, aren't they? The charts are looking great. Let's go see how Pulse Chain is faring with the markets. We're going to go to Rat Pulse. Bring that up first. Let's see. Bam, bam. All right, let's go to Pulse Chain on the markets there. Now, with Liberty Swap's kind of been the key project launching. We've also got VersaVault launching from Fast Abdul, going to be the 6th liquidity fork. We got those positive things. Those are the positive build outs. We've got many other teams doing a lot of great rollouts and stuff. Really booming all over the place in most DeFi categories. We've still got a few things. We've still got tokenization to really hit the chain, and Liberty Swap looks like they're going to bring that along with SwitchX, our two of our top 5 developers in terms of blue chip developers, bringing that on board. And that can't be too far away. It's certainly been delayed, but it can't be too far away. And that means that people are going to be able to have stocks and bonds and all sorts of things in their wallets, which is pretty cool on Pulse Chain. We'll be a fast follower. Let's put it that way. We'll be a fast follower from the rest of the market. So that's kind of where we are. Let's get into the Pulse Chain markets, though. We just passed 1,200 days, as you guys know. We're on day 1,203 since Pulse Chain launched on the 30th of May, 2023, which is pretty awesome. I'm just going to get the charts ready here, and we're going to go to the. I don't know. We might just go to the 4-hourly chart here. And then we're going to look at the total volumes and everything else. So let's see what is hot today. Is it ProveX? Is it Hex? Is it PulseX? Who knows? So we'll find out. Let's check it out now. If you're loving the content, don't forget to smash the subscribe, hit the follows. And of course, you guys know the Crypto Night Show is the largest Pulse Chain influencer. And this is very key, doing daily shows and doing comprehensive coverage. So we don't just talk about one or two things. We cover all of Pulse Chain. We do project updates, any positive things, any concerns, and of course the top 100 markets. We cover that pretty much every day, as you guys know. So that is a unique positioning of the Crypto Night Show, and we've been doing it almost for 7 years, covering Hex originally, and of course Richard Hart, and then now of course Pulse Chain. Pretty awesome stuff. Let's get into it. Subscribe on the way in. That's all we can say. All right, so here we are. Let's go to Pulse Chain, day 1,203. We've got Pulse Chain price at the moment at 4 zeros, 1336. up 4% today. We'll take that. We had a couple of days little cool off with the RSI. We needed it. I said we needed it, right? We got it. So that's good news. We got the markets, of course, the market majors moving up, so that's positive for us. Bitcoin over 80k, Ethereum over 2,500, so we've got good major stuff there. We've got Pulse X at the moment is up 6.36% at 4012. And we've got Hex at the moment is up is at 3800 of a penny, up 8.6%. Really nice move on Hex. ProveX there just cooled off at that level, up 4.6% today, but still cooled off around that 1200 level there. 1200, looking good there for ProveX. Obviously, the winner for the last couple of days in particular. And of course, we've seen this rotation between Richard Cause, right? Who's the winner today? Who's the winner today? It's going to be a bit like that. We got Ink Token at the moment up at 67 cents, at up 6.7%, and Hex there on Ethereum, the original Hex, right? The Genesis Hex, and of course, I'm very, we're all attached to our good old Hex, aren't we? That's up 6.8% today at just over 1,500 of a penny. Not bad at all. So there we go. Let's jump into the three global metrics we look at. We look at the gas prices, see how much it costs to operate on Pulse Chain. We're at 1 million beats today, so pretty high, relatively speaking. Normally we're down at 400,000 beats. We're 155 pulse for a swap, or 0.2 of a penny. So kind of cool. Now, over time, we expect this to get more expensive, right? If we're going to have a more valuable chain, we expect these to have more demand, arguably, and of course, get a bit more expensive. That's, it's a sign of success. And as long as it's not too expensive, right? Not like expensive like Ethereum in 2021 with NFT mintings, right? Not that sort of stuff, or meme coins. We just want it, just to rise proportionally, not too much. We got the values at the moment up significantly today. We're at 47,298, so that's up a lot. I think we've got the moves on that, haven't we? Let's see there. Yeah, 47 active values. 47,300 is actually saying here, and we're up. What are we up there? About 80, 85 from yesterday. Kind of cool. And of course, as the chain becomes more valuable, more successful, you expect this to go up too, right? And it is going up. So that's cool. Good stuff there. This is all time. But if you look at the last, it doesn't really show up the last 30 days there. You look at the last 6 months, it's got this uptrend. So that's cool. Let's go to the bridge. This is our final global metric. And this is the one that really matters a lot, because, the more money that's coming over the bridge, typically that's going to be actively used and go buy something, right? So that's kind of what we like about this. We had our low about 40 days ago, and that was around 47 million, 420. So we're about 19, let's just say just under 19 million below that at the moment. And I think we've been up as high as 23 million above. So, about 19 million above the low. So that's good stuff, right? Good stuff. Now, we are down 4% today, so not great today, 5.4% for the week. Most of that today, of course. 32% up for the week, for the month there. And unlike yesterday, we had a negative day. Sorry, we have a negative day yesterday? I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, negative day yesterday, I think. We're down 1 million today, guys. 671K in, 1.7 million out. And we did have issues, we had a little bit of issues with the bridge, but then we had a bridge update. And we obviously had the better lend today apparently getting exploited. So, I guess maybe some of that, this cash flow is from that. I haven't gone any further with that, but that may be the case there. Kind of makes sense. But once again, has to be confirmed. We're at USDC there, 294K in, 512 out. So yeah, we're out about over $215,000 USDC out. DAI 161K in, but 533K out. So that's pretty big there. I'm sure someone's done some analysis on the bridge values today. Maybe we'll go check it ourselves as well. USDC 103K in, 105K out, so 2 out there. RAPD 36 in, 205 out there. So pretty heavy day today on the old Pulse chain there. And of course, we did have the Liberty Lend exploit. The second one, is it? Second big one there. Pretty huge. The last one was massive, right? It is what it is. They blame the chain. I don't know. Is that fair? Maybe they're right. Technically, I'm not a coder, but it just seems a little bit, just a little bit easy, is it? A lot of other people's projects seem to run well, so I don't know. That's a bit weird. Anyway, so there we go. Down 1 million there at the moment. Let's go check out Pulse Chain, and this is the 4-hour chart. So kind of the trader's view chart here. We're above the 50 4-hour moving average at 1324. So 4 zeros, 1324. I'm just excluding the 4 zeros, right? Easy to talk about. And we've got the 21 moving average for the 4-hour at 1347. So very tight space. And look, we're right in the middle of it, just sitting there nice and pretty. How much room have we got to move to the upside? Well, a lot, guys, because we're only at 48 on the RSI. We are a bit heated on stochastic, but still room to move up here. Very cool on the 4 hours. So still room to move. Nice there on pulse. Let's look at the pulse on the daily. We're above all the moving averages. But look, what do you see, guys, on the daily? Very cool. Golden cross, guys, coming up. We got 4 zeros, 1,000 on the 50-day. Isn't that funny? Just 4 zeros there, so 1,000. We got the 200 daily at 10.37, just above it. The gap is almost worthless, right? It's an inevitable there at this stage from the looks of it. We'd have to come down pretty hard for that to get, come down. I don't even know if it's the possible. So golden cross is in front of us, guys. That's a bullish sign. So we've got room on the 4 hour. We've got a golden cross on the daily. It looks pretty good. We've got the crypto majors doing well, over 80K, 2,500 Bitcoin and ETH respectively. We've bounced twice off 4 zeros, 1,250. And now we're up at 1338. So I think we're looking good. Nice little cool off there. Let's look at the RSI on the daily. We're elevated at 65, but nowhere overbought. So lots of room to move, especially with the 4 hour. Stochastics all the way down here, guys, at 5. OMG, Pulse Chain has got to be looking hot here, doesn't it? That'll be looking hot here. That was to keep everyone awake, just in case. But Pulse Chain looking good for another move, all right? Another move. So nice there. The money bags is DX. Money bags indeed. All right, so that is the daily. Let's see how the weekly looks on here as well. So the weekly here, we've got this key number here, right? 50 weekly moving average at 15.29. We've tapped it twice, and I think we've got room. Is this set up for the 4 hour, the daily, the golden cross, set up for a move higher to pump this out? I think it's looking good. Do you guys reckon that is? I think it is. We got the RSI is down at 59, just cooled off a little bit from 63. The stochastic is high, but I feel like the short-term view there is so good, we can keep this puppy running there. And, of course, if we look at the monthly, you guys know it. I'll come back to the weekly. Don't get me wrong. We'll come back to weekly. But the monthly, the RSI is at 40, and we're just starting to come up here, the stochastic at 17, and we've got a long way to run. So we're expecting a lot of parabolics in the move ahead, but we've got to do that one last number, right? That's my thesis. We need that one last number here as we begin wave 2. This is my terminology, right? Not anyone else's. We've got the monthly moving average at 2,500. That's a future target for the 21. 21 is always pretty key. And there we are. So that's something for the future. But let's go back to the weekly and let's do some moon math. Anyone like moon math? All right, let's put the overlays back on. We're going to argue that 5,400 is the bottom, and that Bitcoin bottom was in the end of June, not the 4-year scenario, right? Which is cut short. That's not what we're arguing right now because everything is looking so good. It doesn't mean that scenario can't play out, but I just think probably is not that's not going to play out relative to our upward momentum in the crypto majors and Pulse Chain. So this is my next target, right? 1,700, and that's the target. We had horizontal resistance around that level, approximately 1,750, but get the idea. 1,700 pretty key, and we have got this resistance on the 50 at 15.29. We got to get through this area, right? But I think we got room to move on the 4 hour, and of course we've got the golden cross on the daily. I think we're looking good here, and we've got the crypto majors moving up. So all that holds up, looking good. And then of course, I'm really keen on moving to 700. This would be the beginning of the second wave, right? 1,200 was the end of the first wave. This is my terminology, remember? So you may not hear this from anyone else. That's the 1,200, and we bet out lower highs, right? We're trying to bet out these lower highs because we had 11 red months on Pulse Chain there, and we've got this mega downtrend on Pulse Chain, and we're trying to get that. We haven't got the all-time low at 5,400. I think so. That's 5 zeros, 5,400. We've double tapped that, and now we're on the way up. We had this particular interesting structure back here that was a key clue, and here we are now after that, looking pretty good here. So next target, 15 to 17. We'll get past that, looking very good with the current motion there of the 4 hour and the daily. And then, of course, in the future, the next target would be somewhere up at 2,100th of a penny. What I want to see is this blue line, right? So this blue line is our second goal. We got the bottom in at 54. Second goal is to tap 17 at least, right? Get past this moving average for the 50. Come back down, maybe retest 1,200. This doesn't necessarily need to play out like that, but just the profitability in here, just to let some of these people take profits, and then back up, and then escape velocity is this candle here, and this would jump us on to this mega uptrend, this green line. That's the thesis, right? So far it's playing out pretty well. We had a nice cooling off here because the RSI was quite hot, and we're heading up for that golden cross. So nice happening there. very cool indeed. All right, so that's kind of the idea there. Next target would be somewhere between 25th to 2200th of a penny and 3100th of a penny. That would be a 2.618 Fibonacci extension, and that's kind of in the future as we maybe head towards the end of the second wave, right? Once we get escape velocity here, could be pretty cool. In fact, I'll pull that down to that measure there, and that's exciting, right? It's exciting. So pretty cool. In fact, if I take this up here, this would be the second wave kind of move. Obviously, that's coming off the bottom, so just take note of that. But that is kind of the idea, and bam, bam, bam. Let's see. And then it's really exciting times, I think, after that, guys. We got all that room on the monthly for multiple parabolics, multiple doublings in price. And of course, as we go up the bottom, people that got cheaper bags, they may have an expectation I'm going to do a 2x because I'm just jittery. I'm jittery, right? Or I'm going to wait for a 3 to 5x, right? So we've got all these sort of mindsets going on as we move up here as well. So kind of cool. So that is Pulse Chain. Let's move away into the top gainers. I see Super Snake's got a comment there. I'll get to that when I get to Hex, I think. We've got total market volume at the moment, 9.6 million. We'll take that. Another great day. We're just tracking up there. It's better than 2.5 to 3.5 million like we had during the bear market, and that was not too long ago. So cool stuff happening there. All right, so don't forget to hit the repost if you're watching on X. Smash the repost, that little double arrows there. Share the channel around. We're an hour and 11 minutes into the live stream. We've got awesome stuff happening at the moment. Bitcoin over 80K. We're going to come back to that later on. Ethereum over 25, all on the move right now. At least last time we checked it. And now we're going through Pulse Chain. So let's get into the top gainers. So 9.6 million, we'll take that. It's pretty good. Let's go to the Pulse X. It's doing 8 million. Our V2 DEX there from Richard Hart. 9mm is doing 908K. It's been around that sort of 800 to $1 million, isn't it? Pretty cool for 9mm. And of course, they share their dividends every month, right? SwitchX, our V4 DEX. So 9mm is a V3, V4 for SwitchX from Brandon and the crew. We're expecting big things from that team. I wouldn't be surprised out of our blue chip teams, these are the bigger teams that are doing bigger protocols, that they will end up doing a lot of stuff on the chain. They've already given us a 3-year roadmap. At least they've given us the intentionality of a 3-year roadmap. They've teased about tokenization, and we're excited about that. They already offer a fantastic DEX and DEX aggregator, multi-chain as well, and we're excited about where they're going to there in the future. All right, so they're doing about 360K at the moment. We've got LibertySwap doing 276K, pretty consistent these days. 9inch, a little deprecated. They're still doing 41 apparently. I'm not sure where the volume's coming from. Maybe heaps of peers all adding up. Uniswap there at the moment doing 222. And for Investor there, our new V3 DEX, they're doing about 5K, and that seems to be where they're stuck at the moment. They were up at 40.60, and now they're back at down around 5K. So let's go to the top 4. LibertySwap, let's see what the volumes are there. Most of the volume is coming from Wrapped ETH from Ethereum, Peacock, PDI, Richard Cause, and USD Stable there. So that's most of the volumes there. SwitchX, the V4, most of the volume's coming from Richard Cause, Wrapped ETH, and that's it. And Switch, a little bit of a switch there too. 9mm is doing most of the volume there is coming from Richard Cause, and a little bit from Wrapped Bitcoin. Let's see, Pulse X, most of the volumes are coming from Richard Cause all the way down. Look at that. Peacock there, also doing some good stuff. Troper and Teddy Bear from James Maria. But that's essentially the bigger volumes. Let's do the Mark Top 100. Here we are on Pulse Chain. The Kryptonite Show, the most comprehensive coverage of Pulse Chain, daily. And of course, we take a day off here and there for some emergencies or something, but that's about it. Or a holiday, or a quick holiday, or something like that. We got Hex Dog. It's been around for over 1 year. It's getting a bit of love today, 14K over 18, so someone's pumped it. Hex Dog on the move. Let's have a look there, up 54% today. Remember, do your own due diligence, not financial advice, and also remember, check security of tokens. Really is on you to do that. As you know, I just cover these things, so take note. Right, so there is a pretty good move there on the daily. Look at that, pretty nice. I'm going to log that because it's a bit easy to see. Let's go to the top here. So this is on the US dollar price as well. Now, some people ask me why sometimes I go to Pulse. Well, Pulse chain is typically what you want to do. Pulse is the kind of the fee coin, the main coin for the chain. And then you've got all these tokens on the chain, and you want to see how does that project performing versus Pulse, right? If it has Pulse peers, which most do, then you're wanting to see how's it performing. Well, US dollars, of course, this is up pretty hardy over the last 42 days. Apparently, it's up 22 thousand, almost 23,000%. So pretty big move there. What's a 24x or so? Some big moves there. It's gone from 6 zeros, 5,700 to 3 zeros, 1,300 there on gains. Well, it's suiting, isn't it, on gains there? So the other one we saw like that was doing big numbers like this was Crypto Tiger God, that one. So we got that on the move. Now, obviously, not financial advice, and you know who's the holders and all that sort of stuff. You have to do your own due diligence here. But that is the top one at the moment, getting pumped pretty hardy today. Shiba Inu, meme coin copy there. That is 17%. Let's have a quick look at SHIB. Remember, Pulse Chain forked Ethereum on the 10th of May 2023, where it's over 1,200 days ago, and we've got a lot of price discovery going with fork copies, right? Just take note of that. So there we are, a big pump over the last wee while. This is on the daily. We've got the price pump since that pump there is up about 1,243%, so 13x or so on the chart. Not bad. Let's go to the weekly charts. This has been around forever. Let's see an idea that, a lot of volume not around for ages. Got all the way down to 7 zeros, 1,000. Now it's 6 zeros, 18, almost 2,000, right? Is the old chart there. So first week there. All right, so SHIB copy doing well. We've got Wartime up there as well. It's been around for 4 months or so. That's up 15% today at number 3. Number 4 is GoPulse. The team is gone. The website lives because of the Liberty Swap, and I think their swapping bridge gives buys and burns GoPulse. That is up and running, I think, at the moment. 11% up there. Investor number 4 with the V3 DEX. It is, and of course, the printer ecosystem. It is at $2.81 right now, up 9.4%. UFO the Greys versus Hex. Obviously, Hex is on the move. This is up too. Little volume though, but it's at 8.74%. Why did I go through all those main peers on the DEXs earlier? Because that's where most of the volume is, right? And then the rest of the protocols, typically on Pulse Chain, are small retail plays. Now, as Pulse Chain re-rates, goes through these different waves, right? They will have more and more into the 100K plus mark, right? So that's kind of how I view it. I cut it off at 100K. If we got a decent project retail, let's say 30 to 50K sort of volume, and then but really the 100K is the big boys, and that's going to change over time. Obviously, as we rate the whole chain, that will we'll be talking about $1 million trading peers instead. Hopefully, we'll have a lot of those. All right, so that's kind of the play. Number 7 to number 11, all the way down to number 15 is Hex with ink in the middle there, and that is up about 7% today. So ProveX was leading the last couple of days, having its time in the sun. It's shining light, right? And now Hex is back. Hex is back again, like the Backstreet Boys at the what I saw at the Globe in Los Angeles. The Backstreet Boys are back, so it's up about 7% today. Let's have a look at the biggest peer as we move forward here. So we've got the biggest peer, number 9, in the top 10. And let's have a look at the chart, just like we did for Pulse Chain. We'll have a brief look at this too. We're going to go to the 4-hourly chart first. We're going to get rid of the overlays, and you can see where we're tracking here. We bounced off 3400th of a penny, pretty good. We still got lower highs, kind of like a rollover, right? But almost like a bull flag as well. We could break out from here, so let's check that out. We got the RSI down at 48. The stochastic slowly moving up there, elevated but not overbought. So still room to move there on the 4-hour. So pumpity pump. The RSI looking good, just under 50. Let's look at the daily. Well, the daily is very important. There's a very important number here. Look at this, 21 daily moving average, guys. Very important, and that is sitting at 3,400 of a penny. We bounced off that twice, so solid support there. I really like that. We've come down from the hot RSI after that mega rally, right? Hex did 7x or so, and now we're down here at 60. We've got the stochastic on the daily down at 5. We're looking really good for Hex to have another wave, another push higher. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Dumb and dumber, right? Dumb and dumber. Hope there's another dumb and dumber statement there. But anyway, we got the weekly. Let's go to the weekly as well. We're going to come back to the daily, I think, one more time. Oh, actually, we might stay with the week. But we've got the weekly candle there. Look at that. So we've got the 21 moving average moving up to 1,600th of a penny. We've got the 50 coming down at 2,900, just below 2,900th of a penny. And here we are looking really strong here as well. Remember this big down move, lower highs, and we're just taking those out one at a time, right? So, I think we've taken out a few. We've taken out the 1,400th of a penny. We've taken out the, maybe the 2/10 of a penny. We've taken out the 3/10 of a penny. It's looking pretty cool. We've had resistance back here on December at 4300th of a penny, and so the next zone has got to be somewhere around 6700th of a penny, like 2/3 of a penny coming up here. And of course, we'll have resistance probably in the zone 43 where we are right now, up to about half a penny. But we're getting some exciting stuff here. So half a penny to 2/3 of a penny, got to be in view, right? Got to be in view. Let's look at the RSI. Well, we are elevated on the weekly. We're coming down. We're just tapped 70 on the overbought, and we're just down to 66, and we're rounding around on stochastics there. So a little hot on the weekly. That's why we needed that short-term time frame to pull back. Looking good there. And we're going to go to the monthly because, what does the future look like, right? Future looks bright. Look at that, man. We're elevated. Not elevated. We're at 44 on the RSI. So stochastics just past 20. We're at 23. We got the 50-month moving average. Yeah, we got 50 months on the old pulse chain, and that's currently sitting at 5,800 of a penny. So it's perfectly between that, this area here, between 5,100 of a penny, and of course I talked about that 2/3 here. Yeah, so we're looking good, guys. Anywhere between what I have 44,000, so we're above that. We're kind of tackling this area here, but I think we're looking really good for a move here, and 5,800 seems like a really good mark to be hitting up there. So kind of cool. That's on the monthly. Let's go back to the daily. Actually, let's go to the weekly there. I'm going to get rid of the RSIs, and we're going to add the overlays on. This is our Fibonacci extension, and this supports that, right? So we've got 4,500 where we tapped out, had a bit of a pullback, and our next target is 6,900 of a penny. So definitely somewhere in between 4,700, 6,900, I think we're going to go, and the upside's looking pretty good. So yeah, very cool. 21's moving, average is moving up. I think we're looking pretty good here for another move higher. So looking good. Let's jump back out of there. It's a quick one on the Hex there. And it was really important to have that cool off, and really important for the crypto majors to keep moving up. So perfect combination there. Let's see how it goes. Up almost 7%. See how we get on tomorrow when we come back to that. We're going to come back to Halgo. Halgo, of course, done extremely well. That's up 6% as well. Let's have a quick look at Halgo on the back there, Hex derivative. Now, if you check out the Monster thread 2 weeks ago, edition number 67, you will see there was a whole sub post on Hex derivatives. A really great resource there. You can go back and check that on the Monster thread. You can find that on MVS Crypto or on the Crypto Night Show main page, and of course many others have reposted that too. So pretty exciting. So let's have a quick look at the daily here on Halgo. We were down at 4/0/1700. We've moved all the way up to 3/0/1521. That's a 800% move, and that's a 9x right inside 45 days. Had got up higher, 1919% a little while back on the 22nd. That's over 10x. So a really top performer Halgo has been on the back of Hex rise. Let's jump down here a bit further. One of our top meme coins, number 19, is Doubt Token. It's up 5.8% today. Let's scroll down here a bit more. Vouch, our number one public validator, is up 5% today. Very little volume on Vouch, but I'm sure it will eventually get its day in the sun. What else we got there? Pulse Bitcoin from Fat Sammy and the council. Pulse Bitcoin comes up 4.8%. Patias, our number one DEX aggregator, up 4.6%. Let's have a quick look at that. Got a little volume too. I mean, it's funny. There's some of these blue chips got little volumes, but I'm sure they'll get back there. It doesn't really matter if the chart's going up, does it? Too much, I guess. Liquidity's king, right? 68k liquidity in the main pair here. So we're up 500% in 190 days. So that's we got 6.25x. Not bad if you manage to get the bottom. That is. Let's see what else we got going. We're going to scroll down through some of these. Let's keep going. Pump fun or pump tires. Pump tires there. We're obviously looking for Liberty's going to be launching their own token launcher site. Pretty interesting. We've had a couple of other small medium teams, probably medium teams I would say, with Cabal King and others launching their own token launcher sites. Pretty amazing UI. So big shout out to Cabal King for giving a quality user experience out there. He's obviously a DeFi project launcher. Launches various projects, often in conjunction with technology from Nexian or Kairos from Emmett Farms, but does a great job with that. We got 1/10 of a penny all the way up to 21 of a penny there on the old pump. We'll keep a lookout for that. What else? Let's see what we got here. 9mm, our number 2 DEX, up 1.7% today. Let's have a quick look at that. and see how that's going. Yeah, so this, I'm sure this is going to get a breakout somewhere in the future. Definitely keep a lookout. Those as the yields volumes go up, it's going to be pretty good. 45 days, 161%, has been as high as 272%, so 3.7x in 39 days. But yeah, just keep a lookout. So you might see some market make stuff there. Problem is, it's got thinner liquidity. And this is pretty similar to the other one we looked at with Vouch. But nevertheless, that's still one of our blue chips. Volume gone up to 800 to $1 million. And if we get that second wave, third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave, you know how it rolls. That could get repriced pretty hard. Liberty Swap at the moment, Peacock. We've seen a lot of, they've just changed their roadmap all the time, right? So we've seen a lot of bridging, which is fantastic. And, we want to get the big DeFi projects that they're working on, the 5-6 of them launched. These are major projects, and that's kind of cool. But these guys know what they're doing. They got to launch they got to ramp up their bridge so that they've got bridges going everywhere, right? So they got to ramp that up, and that's what they're doing. That's right. That's the right way to do it. So as keen as I am, even I'm very keen on seeing all those projects launch because I know they're going to be great additions. But they've got to do it in the right order. They've got to have the capital flow right. Got to remove the barriers to entry on the Pulse chain. Have the bridge flows coming from multiple chains all over the place from crypto, and then also open up the fiat gateways as well. We need the crypto and the fiat gateways. These guys are doing it in the right order. That's why they've been deferring, I think, these projects. So we'll get them pretty soon, I'm sure. Peacock at the moment, of course, the buy and burn's been turned off as well. Since they announced their 10x buy and burn, they turned it off. It's kind of the what the hell? What the hell's going on there? But of course, they're setting it up, I think, for a big move in the future. Let's see what the balance is. It's been growing every time. Yeah, so yesterday it was $17,700. Now it's at 19,000. So the buy and burn for Treasury there for Peacock is going up. They're accumulating it at the moment, and probably going to have a bigger impact. Impact player rather than a snail, a bit of a rabbit. Is it a rabbit? So that's at the moment, but still holding up at 1.337 cents. Let's quickly look at the ratio. Ratio has gone down, right? So the ratio has gone down. Let's look. I've got to update this a little bit because this is not the main pair that I'm looking at. Am I? I'm not sure. No, I'm taking this off. But anyway, ignore this at the moment. Let me just get to the ratio, which I want to talk about. There's the weekly candles. So you can see it has rolled over on the ratio, which is going into probably Hex and ProoveX and things like that, right? Bit of rollover there, probably into some of those Ink token, the Pulse, things like that. So bit of rotation there. And of course, we had these delays and all these big heavyweight projects. They are coming, and I'm sure they're pretty soon. But they're, like I say, they're getting the waterworks right? So getting those the capital flows going with all the bridges and the fiat coming up. So we've got a lot of stuff happening there. That's kind of where we are right now. 1,000 ratio at the moment. The US dollar price. There's the weekly candles. A couple good weeks in a row. On that really bolted on the announcement of the 10x buy and burn. But the funny thing is they turned it off. And they're accumulating, which is good. So I think they're setting it up for the buy and burn and impact player to do a different approach. And then, of course, get the waterworks out there, get all these channels of capital flowing, and then launch their big DeFi projects. That seems to be the play now. You just got to be patient, right? That's it. So there we are, Peacock there. And, of course, this is our number one team, blue chip team, building out the Kraken ecosystem on the ZKX wallet, right? A big deal there. Intent-based trading, privacy, all that good stuff. They're going to have all the top DeFis as well. So that's pretty much there at the moment. Let's scroll down there a bit further. Switch, interesting enough, come down to 3.6, third of a penny on the old, actually just above that, 3600th of a penny for Switch at the moment. That's our third biggest DEX, right, up there. Teddy Bear James Maria comes at ebbs and flows. It's down a little bit there today. Liquid Loans was doing really well, wasn't it? And Peak Tiger too, just having a cool off, make too many gains. Got to have a little bit of a tapper there, but it's not too bad, is it? The old Peak Tiger. Still holding up pretty strong, and we'll get back out. The volume's really kicked in on the 30th here, so we'll take the charts from there. And look at that. We're up 1,769%, so it's 18.7x. Can't cry about that in 29 days. Come on. Potentially pretty good. Now, it's relative to liquidity and exiting if you're going to exit, and, of course, the holder class. Probably got a pretty skewed holder class, right, in terms of a Tiger Crypto God and others holding. Liquidity on the main peer, 43K. So it's kind of, at the moment, still down a little bit today, 11%, but, pretty impressive. The other one is Liquid Loans. Of course, we used to call it a Liquid Loans, right? Liquidity was down at like what, $20,000 or something low down like that. Well, I'm glad to say the top two pairs are up, and it's back up at about at least maybe 200k liquidity or more on the two main pairs. And we got a big candle there, so we had a big run up on the old liquid loans, a number one liquidity fork on Pulse Chain. Where we're going to take it from here? Take it from the bottom, I guess. 6 zeros 1164, and what else we got there? We've gone up to we'll take it up to here, I guess. Was that up? I'm trying to get 1345. All right, 1345. We're just down there. There we go. So it's up 10,000%. It was up 10,000% in 70 days, 11.5x. Pretty good. It's still up at the moment, even with this retraced in the last week. These are weekly candles, by the way. It's still up 600%, so 7x there at the moment. Pretty cool. Let's look at the daily. You can see it's just drifted down here as well. So pretty key line there. I think it's, it rolled over. It might be 72. If it drops below that, 72, kind of rolling over a bit there. Certainly if it drops below 59, it's a rollover, right? But so far, so good. And hopefully the positivity with Pulse and everything else holds it up. There we go. Now, I think they've got mobile app coming, right? That's coming from Liquid Loans. They've been doing their conferences as well. So that's ticking there. And then so I guess the mobile app there, I'm not sure if it's out yet, but it's coming apparently. All right, so that is it for Liquid Loans. Those are two winners that are down today. And then we've got a lot of others ones that are on the move. So there we go. Now, what did we say? Pulse Chain was up. Let me quickly check. Pulse Chain stats. Pulse Chain was up 3.7%. So anything doing better than that, 3.7, how many is that? So we got 50%. 50% of the peers in the top 100 trending are doing better than Pulse right now relative to Pulse. And there we go. And the key winner, I guess some of these specialty coins, SHIB Fork doing pretty well. Vesta up, and Hex, of course, leading the way. Hex is leading the way there. Pruvex. Oh, Pruvex is moving up, guys, just as we're saying it. So it is a battle of the rotation. So we've got Pruvex coming back, and let's talk about that before we move on. Let's find the big pair. Where's the big pair here for Pruvex, to be fair? USDC? No, this one here. No, where's it gone? Where's the big pair there? Let me shake it out. Let me shake it out here. Not like the dance song, but Pruvex here. Where's the million pair? Where's the million? Are you down here? Nana and Mule. Two scammies. Ignore those. The USDC pair. There we go. 1.3 million. I don't know why it was taking so long to find that, but we did. So let's look at this. It's back. It's back again. It's pretty awesome. Now, the all-time high was the second week, right? So we got that was that Richard Hart rally, right? They posted that at the same time that it sort of jumped up. Well, we had the high there of 3 zeros 13.85. And this is the weekly chart. Look at it, up and away there. Pretty awesome. What's that? 6 weeks in a row. Let's have a look at the magic there. So from the move here back on July, we are up. We're up at 244%, so 3.5x almost in 35 days. But if we take it from the bottom there, and then we're up 318%, so 4.2x in 84 days. So pretty good. Now, weekly RSI is elevated. It's in the overbought territory, but still can go higher here, right? So let's look at the shorter time frames. This is the daily. Look at that. Oh my God, is that beautiful? It's pretty nice, right? So we're above the 21 moving average at 4 zeros 8100. We're at 3 zeros 1250. Pretty cool. Not far away from a new all-time high, arguably. RSI is hot at 93. So let's not be fair. That's very hot. And the weekly is almost very hot. Let's call it baby hot on the weekly, but very hot on the daily. 4 hourly there has been elevated for ages. Look at that, elevated and hot, but we're at 74. So I don't know, question mark. A lot of resistance at this level, I would expect, but maybe time to cool off. But, Pulse goes up and everything else, then this could continue. And of course, we just saw it in real time kind of flip the ranking there on Hex, which was dominating. So Pruvex looking very good. And all those people in Pruvex are very happy about that. Now, I did say I would come back to Super Snake on Hex. I slightly missed that on EX. Oh, we're talking about EX, so that's not too bad. Let's get out of here. That's the markets, guys. I don't think we've got too much to say about project updates today. Like I said, I've already covered that Bitmine issue briefly. Which another hack there. Yeah, pretty sad, really. I mean, it's pretty sad. Give it up, Bitmine. You guys tried your best. whatever you say. Let's move on. We want to get rid of contract exploits, and if you're going to have two in a row, two heavy ones, and they're big numbers, right? Big numbers. No one knows what the second one numbers were. The team says that mostly they were the ones that that took the hit, but the first time was terrible. Was it where they were up at 35 million or something? And it was a big hit there. Polestan, what's the positivity? We don't want bad projects launching. Certainly, we want capital to follow good money, good value, right? That's pretty much it. What's your opinion on hex parity narrative? Do you think the ratio will reach 1-to-1 over the course of the bull? Now, I always think that hex will probably be slightly below Pulse, given the ETH prices and where the bull market will be and things like that. But it may change with some of the upgrades like Amsterdam. The S-load function, of course, is a big issue there. And so that will probably keep the differential. But do I think they can get close to conversion? Yeah, sure. I'm in that camp. Very open-minded about that. Just like I'm open-minded about PDI hitting $1, but not through any mechanism, but just through the will of the community and the growth of the community. Arguably, we'll see. We'll see. All right, so there we go. That is. Let's go to EHEX. Hex on and check that out. EHEX. Oh, sorry, my bad. EHEX. Let's see, EHEX and HEX. Yep. All right, let's scroll down here. There's EHEX HEX here. So we got the ratio from EHEX to HEX. So one EHEX will get you 0.0015, I guess. Oh no, that's the US dollar price, my bad. US dollar price is at 1500th of a penny. One EHEX will get you 0.39 PHEX at the moment. So there we go. And if we invert that, let's have a look. That means that one PHEX will get you 2.55 EHEX. Let's look at the monthly and let's log that. And so you can kind of see we had PHEX getting depreciating relative to EHEX. So not so great there. A 2.5. So it used to be able to get something like seven hex. PHEX could get 7 EHEX. Now it can only get 2.55. Now conversion. I don't know. We're having a bit of fun over trouble now. We're breaking down in the matrix. We're breaking down. All right, that is the 1-to-1, right? So that is kind of where you're heading, and so we've got a bit of work, but we're heading in the right direction. So that trend is definitely your friend there as we're heading down. So I don't have any things I have to draw, but we're heading down, right? Heading down towards 1-to-1. What else are we going to say? I guess we're maybe heading down to 1-to-1. I mean, either way you're looking at it, we're heading down to 1-to-1, and I suspect we'll get pretty close. I don't know about exactly 1-to-1. It depends on the timing in the market as well. But I think over time we're heading in there. We're heading in that direction. And I know Richard Hart sort of said, "Oh, the market's spoken some time back," but I never agreed with that. Right? Never agreed with that because the market will always move from day to day, right? Which is what Richard also says, that market moves to day to day. So you know what I mean? So it's like you can't have both. You can't have both. So yeah, that's kind of the play, and maybe the S-load X ending stakes out bid differential, but even the markets can ignore that too. Markets can overshoot, right? Markets can do all sorts of things. So converging, I should say, to 1-to-1 is with hex parity is definitely an increasing chance of that, right? We see that in the chart there, an increasing chance of that happening. And there are different factors on ETH too. We've got FlexNet from Dipcatcher, building that sort of second layer protocol there, but we've got all the big whales that interacted with Hex during 2021. And of course, I think Dipcatcher did some analysis on that. I think it was 1 and 3 of some of the big ETH whales and interacting there. Obviously, we had Hex Gold Whale and everything else in there, but definitely chance of that. And of course, Pulse does really well, obviously, with the base case and the Magic Carpet Ride case from Richard Hart and the ETH. If you're in that camp, believe he's going to allocate that, and if you already believe he's already interacting with the chart there, helping making Pulse trade up, to sort of depending on what camp you're in, we're still expecting to be lifted up through that as well. And then you got kind of via the bridge Hart's law in place as well, I guess. So it's got a big community, massive community. The more green candles happens, the more people come out of the woodwork. We've got influencers talking about it. The bigger ones, whether they joke about it or not, it's always good coverage. And Ivan on Tech and many others. What's that, Velasov or whatever his name is, another big influencer that follows Pulse Chain and so on. So yeah. Super Snake says, with RH airdropping massive amounts of EHEX to ETH holders, maybe the parity narrative is not so crazy. Yeah, what was that? That went from up to about 7 million holders or something like that. Yeah, so everyone's got one EHEX in the wallets. So that's always also in play. And there's a bit of a marketing ploy. And we've got the Pulse Chain iPads going out. What's it, 350 plus out now too, and they're targeting 1 million or so for the iPads, and that's going global, right? We see that every monster thread week. So definitely doable, and the trend is showing that so far, right? Can't argue that trend there. So yeah, it's certainly on the elevated side at the moment. Yeah, I can see that happening. We have a few market makers too. EHEX has also got thin liquidity, if I remember rightly, quite a bit. So that's also adds to that thrust as well. And of course, got the same mechanics, right? And it is the OG. It is the Genesis. It is one of the top 5 coins of the last bull market. So it's got a lot of cool stuff there for that as well. Now, obviously, we're looking at a lot of liquidity coming into crypto markets. That's why we cover digital credit from Bitcoin. That's why we cover the big mega themes for Ethereum, because all that capital starts sloshing around as people make big bags. They look for other opportunities. And of course, that's why Pulse Chain is downstream. The other side of course, we have Richard Hart with all that ETH. And of course, that's downstream from the ETH value as well. That gets re-rated. Then all that gets re-rated. Once we pass 37.73 on ETH, then, that's well in the money, right? All that ETH. And then, of course, he's got all the other ETH potentially, how much he's got from the AA lobby or whatever. I think total recycled ETH through the AA lobby over 350 days was, I think, a million. Was it a million ETH? I think something like that. So how much is he holding on to that? How much was pumping the charts? All that sort of questions out there. I see, a lot of educated guesses of that. No one really knows except for Richard Hart. He is the master chef, and that's the other thing. PulseX, we've still got that ability as well for the DAO to be set up. What's he going to do? And if we do assume that Magic Carpet Ride play is in there, he just has to shave a lot. If that ETH becomes billions of dollars, moves from 650 million to billions of dollars for the sacrifice set, man, you just shave a little bit off that, you're going to pump Pulse Chain with thin liquidity, right? And these are the ideal conditions that Richard talks about, right? Which we're coming off the bottom of. And arguably, if I'm right there, in the beginning of the second wave. So onwards and upwards. And we've got the macros on the move. Everything's looking good. So yeah, we can yak about that. But that's kind of the stuff there. Hope you that was enough of a coverage there, Super Sneak. But definitely that's plausible, and the chart is indicating that is where the market's heading at the moment. All right. What else? I think that's it, eh? Is that up? How are we up to? An hour and 41 minutes. We've got a huge community watching right now. I mean, big shout out to all you guys. Hope you guys appreciate the sharing and the caring. That's what we're doing. We're sharing the same journey. And of course, we are at a pivotal turning point here today. I've shown that, I think. We've got this final seal of approval. Let's go back to the crypto majors just to summarize things, right? So let's go back to, I don't know, Coinbase. We'll just go off that. And here we are at the moment. So, look, our little rally that we had at the beginning of live streams come off the top there. You were back down to 80K. So that's the volatility that we're in at the moment. So we're up I think we were at the beginning of the live stream, we're at 80,377. Then we went to 80,800, and now we're back down to 80,040. So a bit of fight here before the end of the week. Can we get this happening? We've got another market opening on tonight. Will the Fed chair give us a positive dovish move? And then the markets rally over 83K on that. That's probably the biggest catalyst. Will the market do it out anyway? Well, I think the market's just fairly bullish still. So we'll see how that goes to the upside. We've got some key metrics there on the daily crossover as well for the golden cross, particularly for Ethereum. Ethereum there, that was trying to rally too. So let's have a quick look at this before we finish up. There's a 24-hour chart there. Oh, it actually doesn't render on this. Doesn't render on here, so it's not going to work. But you get the idea. That's in play right now. All right, so we've got the chair tonight. Can we get that close for the week? That's key, guys. That's key. And of course, are we going to get a big green wick candle next week? If we get over this 83, we could very well do that because of this clarity and the rulemaking insurance. And of course, also these interventionists by the Treasury, even hinting it for September. We're about to end August, so we're coming into September. And of course, then what will the Fed say as well? So you remember Trump? It's got all the cards, right? You think about it. He doesn't have the Senate. That's the only thing he doesn't have. But he just needs 60 votes for the Clarity Act. But he has all the other cards, right? He has the SEC, the CFTC, the Federal Reserve, and the Treasury. So four horses of the apocalypse? No, I'm just kidding. But he's got all those things, and he's looking very bullish after that White House meeting last week. Secondly, of course, we've got all these mega things happening, tokenization, AI, all taking off. we see all the institutions. There's so much news, guys. Base chain tokenization. I mean, everything's just happening. Coinbase. I mean, this is on and on and on. Not just the American stuff, but we're getting stuff out of Asia. The South Koreans, the Singaporeans. I mean, it's just bullish. We're getting stuff out of Europe as well, which is always a tough market with the globalists running that place, right? We're getting all that happening as well with the setups. There's so much stuff happening. And then October is the big day, guys. The DTCC coming in. That is a massive for tokenization. So awesome stuff. Now, I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. We've had a really great audience. It's been really, really fun. And of course, we're looking forward to cover this tomorrow. Tomorrow's really cool. We'll see how the fair chair goes, and I'll update you on that. And we'll see how the markets go overnight, and who's going to win the battle of the Richard cause tonight, ProveX or Hex, because they're both fighting it out at the moment. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see that. And will Pulse Chain do a power move to the upside, looking kind of positive there. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Smash the follow on X. Hit the repost on X as well. Helps a lot. And I'll catch you on tomorrow's show. Very, very exciting. Now, next Monday, just as a quick, as you guys know, the Monster Thread, the weekly hottest news, is an official publication of the Crypto Night Show. MVS Crypto out there is the editor-in-chief, also the promotional lead for the Crypto Night Show. If you're a team out there wanting to get brand awareness, we are the #1 play for that here. And so hit us up, either myself or MVS. Secondly, of course, it's heading up towards 50,000 plus views. We're really starting to break up to new levels. Obviously, we knew that was probably going to be the case when Pulse charts start rallying. Everyone comes out of the woodwork. And so it's a perfect way for getting up to date on all the hottest DeFi and people activities on Pulse Chain. It's also great for sharing to new people, to onboard new people. And that's a big part of the heart of the Monster Thread. So definitely check that out. You can either see it on MVS Crypto's site on X or mine on the Crypto Night Show. So check that out, and onwards up there. But edition number 69 is coming up next Monday. Exciting about that as we move to new highs of growth. And let's see if we can get that second big move in the old Richard cause. Going to be a lot of fun. All right, take care, everybody, and I will catch you again on tomorrow's show. Bye for now.